Jumping right in, we do want our mermaid skin to be nice and primed for our makeup look, so I am using the Pore Filler from NYX and the Angel Veil Primer mixed, just to get a nice base all over my face and my chest. With the NYX Jumbo Pencils in Milk, I am going to start creating a nice opaque white base. This will help in the long run when I am starting to draw out my octopus tentacles, because it will really make the colors pop. I have depotted the pencils just by taking a spatula and pretty much taking all of the product right out of the pencils, so it's easier to disperse with my hands. Just so that the product won't really move around when I am drawing on top of it, I am going to completely set my face with NYX's Whipped Cream Matte White Eyeshadow. And possibly try to do your best to make sure your wig doesn't get in the way. This white base can look super flat on your face, so it's really good to kind of highlight and add some dimension. I am just doing so with a little more of that jumbo pencil in a few targeted areas. Then you also want to make sure to set that as well so it stays in place all day. Going in with a high voltage lipstick in the shade 06, I'm just going to completely fill in my lips. I like to finish off the lip shape with a small lip brush just so that I can get a really defined sharp edge. I also do like to overline my lips, but that's totally up to personal preference if you choose to do so or not. Just to set the lipstick in place, I always like to use a translucent powder on top. Here I am using the NYX HD powder just so that the lipstick has a very matte look and so that it doesn't move all day long. I wanted her lips to be a very big focal point of the look, so I am extending the edges of the mouth out just a little bit to give her kind of a wicked smile. You can do this easily by just turning the edges upward a little bit and dragging them out. Using that same lip brush with just a little bit of lipstick still left on it, I am going to start drawing out where I want the contour to start. I'm going for a little bit of a cut crease inspired contour, and you could create any shape you want. I just went with this one because I think it looks interesting and I want to make sure that they match on both sides. Going in with Vesper, a baked eyeshadow from NYX, I want to start creating the transition color for my contour. We'll pretty much take this all the way up to the line and blend it downwards. Using the NYX Hot Red Primal Color eyeshadow, I'm going to start taking this and adding a little more dimension to the contour. The whole idea behind a cut crease is to basically have it be darker and darker and darker towards that crease we originally drew. So keep the red closer to that line. At this point, I am switching to an angled brush just because I want to get as close to that line as possible. I'm going in with a maroon blush and just going darker and darker, keeping most of the color right against that line and blending into the red. Now with just a very small amount of the NYX Primal Color in Hot Black, I am going to go on top of that line and just barely blend into the maroon. You do not need a lot. I want my face to have as much structure as possible, so I am using the Vesper baked eyeshadow and a little bit of the hot red mixed together to go right under my jawline so I have a little bit more of a chin going on. You can also take this around your nose, your cupid's bow, pretty much anywhere that you want just a little bit more color. I thought that with my mermaid already being so striking, I wanted to add some little freckles on top, because freckles are adorable, let's be honest. So using the NYX Felt Tip Pen liner, I am just adding on some cute little freckles along my nose. Just to round off the contour a little bit because it looked a little too stark, I am just taking a fluffy brush and blending a little bit of the pigment upwards so that the contour looks a little more curved into my face. Alright, so now on to the eyes, where we are doing another cut crease. I like to sketch mine out first using a small angled brush, and a good general rule to keep is to draw it on where your socket bone is to create kind of your second fake crease. We're pretty much doing the exact same thing we just did on our cheeks, but on a smaller scale on our eyelids. So just blend that line out so it's not harsh, and then, fix any mistakes you have. Nailed it. We're going to be using the exact same colors we used earlier. I started out with Vesper, and now we're taking Hot Red just a little closer to that line and blending upwards. Then we are going to take the maroon shade that we used earlier with an angled brush again, and just get closer and closer to that line. Try to just keep blending upwards and stay as close to that line as possible, just to minimize cleanup at the end. I really want her to have some sexy cat eyes going on, so I'm just going to start bringing the eyeshadow down into the corners of my eyes to give her a feline type look. With just the tiniest bit of NYX's powder blush in red, I am going to add a little bit of color right onto her cute little rosy cheeks. With NYX's Curvaceous, oh baby, mascara, I am just taking this all over my top lashes. Just doing a couple quick little coats. I don't want the lashes to be too intense. And now finally we can move on to our mermaid chest. These micro eyebrow pencils are my absolute favorite to draw with, so I am using these to just sketch out kind of a general place where I want some of the tentacles to be. This doesn't have to be perfect yet, you can always go back and fix it later. We want to completely cover the tentacles again with more jumbo pencil in milk, just because we want it to be super white and opaque for lots of colors to come. Using these two NYX blushes in Crimson and Deep Plum, I am just going to start sketching out with an angled brush some of the spaces where the tentacles are and a little bit of the indentions, just so I know where everything is placed. Going in again with that hot red primal color eyeshadow by NYX, we are going to start adding some red shadow all over these tentacles. So with these tentacles, I'm not really looking off of a reference picture, but you totally could to help you out just a little bit. I am just trying to think of these realistically, how they would look. Any place where there would be shadow naturally, underneath where these tentacles are coming out from, around some of these kind of bulbous shapes I drew, you want to put lots and lots of shadow, because we want these to look extremely dimensional and realistic. If a tentacle is on top of another one, then obviously the one underneath would have a lot more red shadow. So I'm trying to create these creases and these little crevices with tons of this red eyeshadow. Add in more plums and maroons and darker colors to just keep getting this three-dimensional feel. Just like with what we did earlier, we were taking the lighter colors and slowly making the shadow darker and darker. You're going to do the exact same thing with these tentacles. The shadow starts off lighter and just keep darkening it. A tentacle pretty much looks three-dimensional by keeping the center lightest and then shading it darker as it goes to each side, because naturally if something was three-dimensional it's going to be lightest on top because that's where the light hits it, and then it'll darken as it curves around. Finally, using more of the black eyeshadow, we are going to go right up against where the darkest parts of these shadows are. I want these octopus tentacles to look gross and bulbous and intense and super realistic, so use black to your advantage. That's your darkest shadow. So using a lot of black on your darkest spots will make the lightest spots pop out more, because like I always say, general rule, there's always a highlight to every shadow, and if you put a lot of shadow, the highlight will really pop out too. with NYX's black liquid liner, I'm going to start adding a little bit of stippling and dot accents just to kind of add a little more texture to these tentacles. I am also going to use this to draw on little suction cups on the bottom of some of these tentacles. NYX's white liquid liner is super opaque and I really like using it for accents, so I'm going to start filling in the little suction cups completely with this. I also decided that I didn't like one of the tentacles, so I just went in and fixed that with some eyeshadow right quick. I'm going to start adding in some of this black liquid liner, and I'm going to start outlining the darkest shadows. I really like to put a sharp line where the darkest shadows of my looks are, because it really makes those shadows pop out even more than they do. I'm also adding in more and more dots because I just love the way they look, and I think it ties the whole look together along with the freckles on my face. I do want to look like an octopus from head to toe, so I decided to add in this little forehead piece. And I'm pretty much taking a little bit of the cut crease and a little bit of the tentacles and mishing them together on my forehead. I'm taking the hot red and just blending that inwards, and then I am going to do just like we did before and take the maroon towards that line and go darker and darker. And then I want to start adding in some very pretty kind of bulbous shapes using that black and using the dots as well. I just want my forehead to look super dimensional like the rest of my body. And there you have it, a siren, albino octopus mermaid lady. I couldn't figure out just one idea. I had to mix them all. I wanted to go hard in the mermaid ladies. What can I say? Only a face a mother could love. I just got done filming the little promo shots that I did in the beginning. My husband Daniel helped me, and I just wanted to thank you guys so much for watching. This is the aftermath of going in the water. I just wanted to thank my TEAMHANZ family so much for all your support. You know, this whole NYX Face Awards has been absolutely amazing, and I've learned so much about myself that I didn't even know was, I guess, possible. I want to make myself proud, and I want to make you guys proud. And so, you know, this whole contest is up to public vote, and I want to do the best I can for you and for myself. I want to earn those votes, and that's how I felt this entire time. I'm just happy that I pushed myself to do this. I can't thank you guys enough, and the people that have helped me in this whole process. You know, the fact that I could possibly, you know, go to the top 6, I'm competing for that right now. See this double chin right now though? That's like, it's pretty insane. So this little video, I just wanted to really thank you guys. Please do remember that voting is live from the 24th to the 31st of July, and you can vote 3 times a day per email on NYXFaceAwards.com. I will leave a link down below, and thank you guys for the support. I love you so much. You guys are my Hanz family. You're the best. That's it. Have a good day. Love you.